United, here we stand. United, here we are. United together, here we stand. United, here we are. United together. United for Allah. United, here we stand. United, here we are. United together. United for Allah.
Assalamu alaikum, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam. I'm with Brother Akhter. Alhamdulillah, we're going to talk about education. I'm very excited to hear about all your projects. Yes. But before we start to talk about it, maybe you can tell us a bit more about yourself. You are a Londonian, can I say it like that?
You certainly can, yeah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wassalamu ala rasulullah. Jazakallah khair for having me here today. Yeah, alhamdulillah, I was born here in London, so I'm mainly from East London, so we're very territorial here.
All right.
Yes, we care about what part of London we're from, so I have to make sure that I hold the flag of East London.
MashaAllah, yeah. High. Okay, so East Londonian, here we go. And you've been into education for quite a lot of time now. What pushed you to focus your energy and talent into that particular, part of Islam?
Sure. I mean, for me, really, the motivation, I think there's nothing really more important than being able to impart upon people ilm, knowledge. This is a sacred science. It is something that is blessed in the Quran, and it is something that our community, maybe over the years, we've lost connection to. The importance of seeking knowledge in every sphere, both Islamic and otherwise, is a great characteristic of our heritage,
right,
and who we are as Muslims. So we know from the famous verses that were revealed of Iqra, of being able to read, and the importance of that was revealed to our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam 1400 years ago, to our history of who our scholars were. And our scholars, we find them to be great mufassirs, great explainers of the Quran, great muhaddis, explainers of, understanders of hadith, but also great scientists, great people who made changes in the world and who benefit community. And this is what ilm really does. It makes you a beneficial person, both for yourself in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but upskills you and brings you greater closeness to Him by helping society. And this is really our motivation for being involved in education.
What was the starting point of your journey into education in UK?
Sure. I mean, I didn't really study very well at university or at college. You know, I just about passed my exams, didn't do too well. Alhamdulillah, I went to university, and if I'm being honest, I maybe did that more so because my parents wanted me to do so, less than really having a major motivation in trying to get a degree or to further my life. But alhamdulillah, that was a good decision from my parents, and it was good that they encouraged me to do so. But one of the things that really motivated me is when I looked around at our community, and this was maybe 20 or so years ago when I first got involved in dawah, I really saw the problems that we have. You know, on the surface, we look at our community and we think that, alhamdulillah, we're fine and we're good. But really, if you delve deeper and you look at the problems our community have and the Muslims and the challenges that they're facing, then really they need some real solutions. We have some very difficult situations in our community. Nobody really addresses them, and the only way that we're going to rectify these issues is by going to the very root. And for us, the very root is education, is to re-educate ourselves, to reconnect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to make sure that we reinstill and reinvigorate ourselves to become better people, better human beings in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
So can you tell us now, this project you're very passionate about with the children, maybe you can share with us, you're one of the pioneer for this particular project. Can you share with us what it is all about and how it can change the life of young brothers and sisters?
Sure. I mean, Al-Noor Foundation is a provider of school and education, really, alhamdulillah, here in East London. But the start of it was something very, very unique, really, for us. And it was the nucleus that made us all come together. Our chairperson, Brother Dawood, he was in charge of a madrasa and a mosque. And one day, he was after the mosque had closed, the cleaners came to him and said to him, "Can you please come and visit the bathrooms?" And in the bathrooms there, he saw some remnants in the girls' toilets of drugs. And this was 20 years ago in a Muslim mosque, in a Muslim populated area. And we saw that this is the sort of problems that we have in the community. we have children, young people, young adults smoking drugs, leaving their deen, into crime, etc. and so on. And really that was a wake-up call for us to think that, look, even though we think that we're doing something good and we are doing our little bit, maybe our little bit is not enough. We have to create that safe environment for our young people, our young children to grow up, to be safeguarded from those ills in society, and at the same time to be able to spread their wings and to be able to develop and to be able to give back to society and to be able to grow and to have fun. All of that we wanted to combine in a safe environment, and that's what really spurred us on as a team to come together and to set up a primary school, which is, alhamdulillah, what we did around 15 or so years ago. We have a small primary school, which, alhamdulillah, has been established now and been running for 14 years, and it has 180 children in the school.
Most of the time, when you think about school, of course we think about the children and their education, but we tend to forget about the education of the parents, because you focus a lot during the day, and then sometimes you find out that what is taught at home doesn't follow up. So is there any attempt from your school to also try to bring the parents closer to Islam, closer to the values you try to share to the children during the day?
Yeah, this is an excellent point, really, mashallah, that there has to be harmony between the parents and the school. We have to be on the same agenda, the same page, to be able to support what is being done in the school. We support it at home, and vice versa. We also support what the parents are doing at home. Alhamdulillah, we're blessed in the parents that we have within our school. They share our vision, share our values. We speak to them, we meet with them regularly. We have an interview before they join our school to really understand them, to understand and to get to know them, and for them to get to know us. And even before the child joins our school, our teacher will go and visit them at home to see how they are and to see their home environment and to get a familiarity with them. So all of these things are very important. And alhamdulillah, we have to go on a journey with our parents. You have parents of different levels and different understandings of Islam, or their different practice levels. And it's important that we are patient with parents, but at the same time we are always encouraging them and ourselves to improve and to move ourselves as a combined unit together in the same direction.
Of course, the parents, they don't have the time, to have daily education as much as the children, because they are busy working. But of course, in UK, I heard that a lot of programs start to, rise during weekends, and you've been involved in those courses, and you expanded also not only in UK but all over the world. And it's a very exciting initiative that really started in a big way in UK. So maybe you can share with the parents who are watching the show, who are try to find a way to educate themselves Islamically. That would be good for them to.
Yeah, no, Jazakallah khair. I mean, this is one of the things that when we were looking at our parents, and not just our parents but parents in general, we here in the UK live a very busy life. It's very challenging. You're working 5 or 6 days in a week.
Times flies by so fast here. It's fast. Amazing.
Yeah, and there's less barakah maybe in the time here. That and so we have those challenges. And on top of that, the living expense in the UK and in particular London is high. So all of these challenges are real life problems. And what we found is that there are only a few amount of people who can maybe go abroad and study in a university in the Middle East, for example,
right,
or go and study Arabic in, for example, Egypt or countries like this. Majority won't get that opportunity. So how do we create a solution for our community here in the UK? This was what spurred us on to create and help establish Al-Kauthar Institute. Alhamdulillah, Al-Kauthar Institute first started off with a couple of courses in Australia and then came here to the UK, founded by Sheikh Tawfiq Chaudhry. And the inspiration was really to try and take a small part of this religion and to be able to teach it to a good level, a fairly intensive level in a weekend course. So we would look at trying to do this extremely professionally as best as we can. So we would hire lecture theatres rather than have the talks in mosques. So it would be able for both brothers and sisters to be able to come and attend. We would provide course notes, professional presentations being done in the English medium as well. So it was in the English language so people could understand. And this is how most of my generation really studied. We studied in university, we sat in lectures, and we heard speakers and we watched presentations and courses, and that's how we did our degree. So we know this methodology really does work, and it's something that relates to a generation, the second generation here in the UK. So we found this to be very successful. Alhamdulillah, we started here in London. After London, we went to Birmingham and to Bradford and to Cardiff, and then to Manchester. So alhamdulillah, we've had a good success here in Al-Kauthar in the UK. And then alhamdulillah, we managed to take that model that we'd worked on and replicate that across the world, alhamdulillah.
When you started Al-Kauthar, to be involved with Al-Kauthar, could you believe that one day we would have a class in Trinidad, for example?
Yeah, no, not really. When I first started Al-Kauthar, the first course I attended was with Sheikh Tawfiq, Mark of Ajoris, a fantastic course, really opened my eyes up. And my job there was to lay out the teas and coffees.
Okay.
Yes, and to make sure that everybody had refreshments and make sure the lunch and make sure everything was running on time, and just the logistics of the program and things like that. Alhamdulillah, from there, it's been an amazing journey that I've been really genuinely blessed to be part of.
MashaAllah.
So after that, alhamdulillah, I took over running Al-Kauthar London for a short amount of time, and then also the responsibilities of expanding Al-Kauthar to other cities, along with a few brothers of
MashaAllah,
mine.
you did a great job, man.
Alhamdulillah, it's been, we are, when I say this, and I don't say this without being genuine, that we are blessed to do what we do.
Right.
We are blessed to be involved in Ramadan TV or Al-Kauthar or Al-Nur.
Yeah.
You know, there are very few people in the world that get to have the exposure that we get to so many people's lives, and to be able to run businesses or operations that have so much revenue and so much importance in the community, and most of all are able to touch the hearts of people.
Right.
This is a privileged position.
Talking about Ramadan TV now, it's been a few years that it's been operating, and can you share with me some stories that, you know, people that came on the show that touched your heart and maybe changed the way you see Islam or changed the way you want to be as a Muslim?
Yeah, you know, alhamdulillah, we've been running Ramadan TV, I think, for over 6 years now, alhamdulillah, if not longer. We've had some amazing programs that I've done. And, you know, I look back, I enjoy the success we have with young people in particular. That's always been my success, whether it be through Al-Nur School or through Al-Kauthar. And with Ramadan TV, we have some amazing young viewers call in to some of the shows and talk about how Ramadan TV has helped their Ramadan. And that is, there's no greater feeling than that somebody can say to you that because of what you did, you made me come closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Ramadan.
MashaAllah.
And that's all we need. That's all the motivation. We don't need any praise or any, and alhamdulillah, we don't get paid for this work, but it is just that people feel that they have come closer to Allah because of what Allah blessed us to be able to do. No greater feeling than that.
That's what we are here for.
For sure.
Jazakallah, brother. We're going to go for a short break, and inshallah, I'll be so happy to be back with you.
Thank you.
Inshallah.
United, here we stand. United, here we are. United together. United for Allah.
I found the truth.
I found the truth.
Я нашел правду. J'ai trouvé la vérité. Ich habe die Wahrheit gefunden.
Ik heb de waarheid gevonden.
Ho scoperto la verità.
He encontrado la verdad.
I found the truth.
Saya jumpa kebenaran.
Kau ada kom ting.
I am Muslim.
I'm Muslim.
Я мусульман. Je suis musulman.
Ich bin Muslim. Ik ben een moslim.
Adesso sono musulmano.
Y por eso, ahora soy musulmán.
I'm a Muslim.
Sekarang saya Muslim.
ตอนนี้ค่อยเป็นมุสลิม
أنت والعطر الرداء حرر النفس ولا تحيا هباء يا ربيعا أنت والعطر الرداء خذ قرارا وانطلق لا تنتظر ليس كل الناس أهل للعلاء خذ قرارا وانطلق لا تنتظر ليس كل الناس أهل للعلاء ليس كل الناس أهل للعلاء بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا لا تبالي فالمعالي بالتحدي لا سواه كن سعيدا كن فريدا عش بفخر في الحياة لا تبالي فالمعالي بالتحدي لا سواه بالتحدي لا سواه
United, here we stand. United, here we are. United together. United for Allah.
Welcome back to the show. Mashallah, we are here with a legend of education in UK, and I've been very, impressed by everything. I mean, all the projects you've been doing in UK helped the community a lot. And there's one project that we didn't talk about yet, a retreat that you've been doing with other brothers. Maybe you can share with me first, because I'm not from London. Maybe the viewers, they know everything about what you've been doing, but I just want to catch up with them, inshallah.
Sure. I mean, that was really the first exposure that I had to Dawah project, and that was the GMAS conference that we just. It's a conference where we go away for 3 or 4 days and stay in a retreat. International speakers would come and deliver topics on Islam. And that was really, alhamdulillah, that was probably one of the first ways that I started practicing and come to Islam through these conferences. And it was a great atmosphere to see all of the Muslims together and to meet brothers and sisters from all across the UK. But then, alhamdulillah, I had the privilege by the leadership of Brother Abu Muntasir to be able to then be involved in GMAS conference and to help run it. And that really was a pivotal moment for me, really, when I saw the benefit that you could do through that conference and the exposure and the learning that I took from that at just a younger age. I was maybe only 15, 16 at that time. It really changed the way that I started thinking. And all of the projects that I've done to date, all of them really rest upon the blessing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me through that opportunity and those people who facilitated that.
It's my first time in London, and it's my second time in UK, and of course first time as a Muslim, alhamdulillah. And the more I stay here and the more I discover new Dawah projects. I didn't know about half of those projects you're telling me. And it seems that UK, in Europe and even in the world, in terms of Dawah and education, Islamic education is kind of in a very high rank. And I'm always thinking, and I want to engage the conversation with brothers like you, what is the brothers in UK doing to expand that knowledge like Kauthar did and is still doing, maybe to Europe, to countries that speak very well English like Germany or Netherlands, who don't have yet this type of infrastructures and skills?
I mean, the challenge is when you're trying to take a model that works here in the UK to any other place in the world, is they have their own challenges, their own nuances. To try and replicate that, as we've found from Kauthar, is not always the same. And you have to modify your style, your way of doing things to be able to fit in. I think the crucial bit for any success of any project that starts off in a country and you take it somewhere else is that those local people need to take ownership of it.
Right.
So, for example, alhamdulillah, I had the privilege of being involved in Seven Skies, which is the Mercy Mission school project. And one of the things that I found was the only way Seven Skies, as our aspiration is to take that school to different parts of the world.
Right.
The only way it would work is if there was a group of local people who truly bought into the vision, and then they would execute and you would be able to guide them along. Same with Kauthar. Kauthar was successful in some cities, alhamdulillah, and is still successful. In other cities, it hasn't been successful. And the only reason really that it hasn't been successful in other cities is because we haven't had, sadly, enough buy-in from local people in that place to be able to execute Kauthar, to be able to run the courses, to be able to be patient in the challenges that you have, and to be steadfast in that. If you find that, and so then you can replicate anything, inshallah.
I think maybe the best strategy is to invite brothers, from other countries to learn in UK and try to adapt what they learn in terms of, marketing, branding and things, how to do things, and to adapt it with the styles that is required and the culture of each country. So
very good. I remember, right now, for example, the school that we're in, Al-Noor School, alhamdulillah, we have a lot of visitors coming in from other parts of the UK saying they want to set up a school. And I always say to them, come, see who we are, speak to us. Why? Because, our experience will and our sharing of information, our journey that we've gone through, we've gone through some highs and lows, and if we were to do this again, we may not make the same mistakes that we may have done before. So it's really important that we try and inspire each other to do these projects and to set up institutes that will be solid structures, that will be there permanently, inshallah, like Kauthar, like we have with our schools and An-Nur and Seven Skies. Why? Because we need to build another safety net for our community. Our generation, our future generation are going to face probably one of the most serious challenges that any generation is facing. Right now, our youth that grow up, they have a stigma that is attached to Muslims, and Muslims is associated with the word terrorist. Whether true or not, that's the association. And unless we start giving them the tools and the confidence and the ability to express themselves and to show them how to give Islam to our non-Muslim guests and friends in this country, unless we give them those tools and those resources, then we'll find that we will lose a generation. A generation will leave Islam because they think that we are something that we're not. So we have to give them confidence, we have to give them the tools and the ability to be able to propagate this religion, to be able to stand steadfast themselves first and foremost, and then to be able to give dawah to non-Muslims and show them the true light of Islam.
MashaAllah. So this is kind of your vision.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. It's got to be that, you know, if we have to make a balance between taking our community who are already practicing and raising their levels, like we do with Al-Kauthar. We empower them with more knowledge and more information and more ibadah and ability to worship Allah. But also to try and look at the majority of our community and to try and see how do we make sure that they're safer in the sight of Allah. How do we make sure that they're sincere to their religion and they're still loyal to that? And how do we make sure that we give their children the opportunity to reach their potential? And that is what schools is all about. That's what An-Nur is all about. That's what Seven Skies schools is all about, and many other schools. It's about making sure we give a safe environment for our future generation so that they can fulfill their potential, both academically, Islamically, religiously. And once we do that, that whole package, that's what's make a human being.
Right.
And when you have a disproportion of that, then you have an imbalance. You have an imbalance in a person, then you don't find a person being that holistic person who's beneficial both to themselves and to others.
MashaAllah. I see you're very passionate about this, and it seems that you've been doing that all your life. But were there a time in your life, maybe in your teenage years, that the Deen, Islam, and it was not that close to your heart that it is now? And is there a turning point for you to maybe just you met a brother that inspired you, and then suddenly you decided to be more focused on Islam? Or because a lot of young people are struggling with that, with this Muslim identity, and it takes sometimes just one encounter to change your life. Or
my story is slightly different in that I've been blessed, alhamdulillah. I have a great home, and my inspiration is my parents, alhamdulillah. They were practicing Islam, and we grew up in a household which was conducive to that.
Right.
And so that gave the boundaries and the barriers and the guidance for me to be able to develop my Islam. So always from a young age, I used to go to mosque with my father. He is the muazzin of the masjid, so he still worked and did all of the things and built our house and did all of the things that a parent needs to do. But also, alhamdulillah, wherever he got a chance, he would, I remember even at night time when we would sit together, he would read to me some Quran and tell me, and the last few, last half of the 30th para, of the 30th juz, I would say that I memorized just because of what he would read to me. So things like that made a massive impact. So whereas some people have gone through a journey where something just triggered something, and that was the triggering, that was that sort of pivoting factor. For me, it was more of a gradual,
steady growth.
An environment. And then, alhamdulillah, Allah blessed me with experiencing people that I saw had a vision for our community. Like I mentioned, Brother Abu Muntasir from Jimas, like Sheikh Tawfiq Chaudhry, who's been immense, mashallah, in his ability, like our chairman for Al-Nur, Brother Dawood. People like that, you get to experience and you sit with them and you find them to be, very, very sincere, genuine people, and people who have got a aspiration for greatness in our community. And that's what really spurs me on, to be able to see. So my journey has been a little bit different to that. It's more of a traditional sort of journey that many people may have gone through. But I've, like I said, those pivotal moments have really been those experiences that I've gained in being involved in dawah projects. And those are the ones that spur me on. Sometimes you may feel a bit lazy and a bit low in your iman. And for me, it's when I get these dawah opportunities, these projects which can affect lives, they're the ones that give me a good boost, alhamdulillah.
It's always a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
So we talk about your past project, what you're doing now, but I would like to know before we end this interview, what's the plan, the plans ahead, and we can share that with our dear viewers.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. I mean, my major project that we're working on at the moment is now to establish a secondary school.
Okay.
So the children currently in Al Noor Primary finish at 11 years old. We want to take their tarbiyah, their character development, all the way from 4 up to 16. Years old. So alhamdulillah, secondary school is our next project.
Yeah.
It is a major project. It is £4.4 million, which is a vast amount of money. But alhamdulillah, we are very confident about raising that. We have raised coming up close to half of that already at the period of time that we're in. So we're very optimistic, alhamdulillah. And alhamdulillah, I have a good team.
Yeah.
I have a good team. So all of us are taking a small portion of that responsibility to be able to raise that funds. And once we do, inshallah, we want to expand the primary school. So we want to take our children that we currently have 180 children, and we expand that to 420. So we want to expand by 2.5 sizes. So we can have more children that we're affecting. And then we want to establish a secondary school. And inshallah, all being well, the minimum size of that secondary school is for 300 children, inshallah. So we hope in our project, all in all, if all goes well and we do get the funding that we require, we hope that 1,000 children from 4 all the way to 11 every day will be in our midst, be educated by our teachers, be going through the character development, the tarbiyah, making sure that we impart on them honesty and integrity and sincerity and valuing people and respecting their relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and being public speakers and being confident and being able to articulate Islam and being academically high performing. All of this, the total package is what we want to do. And that journey is very important for us to take, because then we can take a child from young childhood all the way to young adulthood, inshallah.
May Allah bless you for all your efforts in dawah. And it was a pleasure to meet you. It was the first time we met.
It is, yes.
I'm looking forward to visit your school and
You're more than welcome,
meet the children, inshallah. Jazakallah khair.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for being with us.
United, here we stand. United, here we are. United together. United for Allah. United, here we stand. United, here we are. United together. United for Allah. United, here we stand. United, here we are. United together. United for Allah. United, here we stand. United, here we are. United together. United for Allah.